grand kingdom where fashion was revered above all else, there ruled an emperor who prized his wardrobe above all else. His palace was adorned with silks and satins, and his courtiers were renowned for their exquisite attire. One day, two cunning weavers arrived at the emperor's court, claiming to possess the finest cloth in the land, a fabric so splendid that it was invisible to anyone unworthy of their position or incompetent at their job. Intrigued by the weavers' claims, the emperor eagerly commissioned them to create a suit of clothes from this magical fabric. Day and night, the weavers worked tirelessly at their looms, though in truth, they wove nothing at all. As the days passed, the emperor grew anxious to see the progress of his new suit. But when he sent his most trusted advisors to inspect the fabric, they returned with glowing praise, afraid to admit that they saw nothing at all. Fearful of being labeled incompetent, the emperor dared not confess that he could not see the fabric either. And so, he feigned delight and anticipation, eagerly awaiting the completion of his new attire. At last, the weavers announced that the suit was ready, and the emperor donned his invisible garments with great pomp and ceremony. As he paraded through the streets of the kingdom, his courtiers and subjects marveled at the emperor's new clothes, afraid to admit that they saw nothing but thin air. But as the emperor strutted through the streets, a young child pointed and exclaimed, "But the emperor is naked." At first, the crowd gasped in shock, but soon the truth spread like wildfire, and laughter erupted throughout the kingdom. The emperor, realizing he had been deceived, felt a flush of embarrassment wash over him. Yet, in that moment of humility, the emperor learned a valuable lesson. True clothing was not found in fine fabrics or extravagant garments, but in honesty, integrity, and humility. From that day forth, the emperor ruled with wisdom and compassion, valuing the virtues of his people above all else. And though he may have been stripped of his finery, he wore the cloak of humility with pride, a reminder that true worth lies not in what one wears, but in the character of one's heart.